brought to you by Kellogg's. Kellogg's Cereals. The best to you each morning from Kellogg's of Battle Creek. Now let's all play What's My Line? And now, live from New York, let's meet our What's My Line panel. First, the delightful star of stage and television, Miss Arlene Francis.
Thank you. There's going to be a bright new shiny star in the musical theater this year on Broadway. A boy that we've all thought of as an absolutely darling, sweet, enchanting singer. He's now going to play a very unsavory character, but it's the lead in a marvelous, marvelous play, What Made Sammy Run? Mr. Steve Lawrence.
Thank you. On my left, a young lady that knows more lyrics to more songs than I do, nationally syndicated columnist, Miss Dorothy Kilgallen.
I know him, I just can't sing him the way you can, or Eydie Gorme. And now on my left, the man who published What Makes Sammy Run, Bennett Cerf.
Now here's Sammy Glick.
Girls, you look as pretty as Judy Garland did a little while ago.
Oh,
I can't
wasn't
say
she
any more
beautiful?
than that. She looked great. Well, our panel moderators had a busy, busy week this week. Half of it spent drooling over a new baby boy that his wonderful wife, Virginia, presented with it Monday morning, and the other half studying the sources of the Mississippi River. John Charles Daly.
Had a very difficult decision to make all day. Truth of the matter is I've been so busy in the first instance that I've had no time for the second, i.e. to study the sources of the Mississippi River. However, I have had to decide whether I should not take advantage of the fact that the first instance, the birth of my new son, gave me a perfect excuse for mislocating the Mississippi River, if indeed I have mislocated the Mississippi River. So I think I'll take advantage of it and forgive you all. Ask you all to forgive me. How's that? And I must say it's very nice to see you, Steve, on
Thank
the
you,
panel,
John.
and I
Nice to see you.
congratulate you, as Arlene did, on the new part, difficult part, and I'm sure another milestone in a very successful career for you.
Thank you very much.
And now that we've done all the polite things, look out, because we've got some wonderfully interesting people coming in tonight with some interesting occupations. We will also have a famous mystery challenger before my friends on the panel a little bit later in the program. And we'll meet our first challenger after this word. And now to meet our first contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Tamara Krasina, is that right? Is it Miss or Mrs. Krasina?
It's Miss.
Miss Krasina, and where are you from?
Moscow, Russia.
Moscow, Russia?
Yes.
Well, how nice to have you. Is this your first visit to the United States?
Oh, yes.
You enjoyed what you've seen of us?
Wonderful. It's
Oh,
wonderful.
well, that's wonderful. Miss Krasina, may I present our panel?
How do you do?
And now will you join me over here? Coming all the way from Moscow, Russia, I'd have to ask you if anybody has told you or if you know how we keep score on What's My Line.
Oh, if you please.
All righty. Every time the panel asks a question which you can properly answer no, we'll flip a card. If we flip 10 cards before they get your occupation, then you win the game. Otherwise, they win the game. All right?
Well, I'm alone.
Well, but you have me to help you. And with Bennett over there, you see, that practically makes it even.
All right.
And now let's let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Miss Cressina is salaried and deals in a service. And, pardon me, we'll begin the general questioning with Bennett, sir.
Well, Miss Christina, there is a superb circus in town now called the Moscow Circus, and I naturally jumped to the conclusion that you may have something to do with that circus. Is that correct?
Yes.
I think it's only fair to say here that Miss Cressina does indeed have something to do with the Moscow Circus. She acts as one of the staff of the circus, but what we're really getting at is her occupation at home in Russia.
Which has nothing to do with the, we presume it has nothing to do with the Moscow Circus. Is that right? You mean the occupation at home that we're going for has nothing to do with the circus that is now playing here. Is that correct?
That's right.
You do two things then. In Moscow, you do this service in Moscow. Do you ever come into contact with foreigners in the job that you do in Moscow?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go. Miss Francis.
Comrade Christina, is there something that you do that is... that has to do with instruction in any way?
In any way, yes.
In any way?
Where'd you get a fine Scottish accent?
Do you perhaps teach in a school?
No.
We'll just have to have a small conference. You find your mind.
In Russian, John.
Nichevo, John.
We would have to say here, there's a matter of definition, but we would, I think, with Miss Cressina's permission, we will agree that as we use the term school generally, yes, we'd give you a yes to that.
Well, does she instruct children?
No.
That makes it 2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Lawrence.
Would you instruct adults?
Yes.
Could I apply for your class, or
I hope
your good
wife...
looks have anything to do with your services?
May I put a question?
Well, put it another way if I can.
Do your good looks have anything to do necessarily with your
No.
occupation?
No.
Pity.
No.
What a waste, right? 3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Miss Krasina, is that the correct pronunciation?
Krasina.
Krasina.
Miss Krasina, do you have anything to do with Russia's scientific efforts?
No.
That's 4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
Miss Krasina, have you got anything to do with the women of Russia?
No.
No.
Small conference. Terribly sorry about that. Well, okay. With Miss Cressina's permission, we will change that answer to yes. There is a relationship between the service which is purveyed by Miss Cressina and the members of the distaff side, yes.
But is the service that you perform, Miss Krasina, anything to do with work that is done inside the home?
Just a moment. Inside the house, he means, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes.
Now, wait a minute. Wait.
You don't know how it is in her home, John.
No, Bennett, I'm sorry about that. That's 5 down and 5 to go. That's no. Miss Francis.
Don't let him talk you down, Miss Krasina.
May I rule out the fact that Miss Krasina has nothing to do with teaching English?
May I rule out the fact that Miss Cressina has nothing to do? That's too
She does
negative.
teach English, is what I really mean.
Right! Well, the first thing we got to flip all the cards over because Miss Cressina's got to win tonight anyway, no matter what happens. But actually, Miss Cressina teaches English at the Moscow College for Foreign Languages, right? Sure. And she is here, as you have been told, with the Moscow Circus, and is acting as interpreter for the circus, which she finds fascinating. As she said that everybody is disappointed when they talk to her. They ask her, does she do something in the circus, perform in the circus? She says no, and says everybody's disappointed. I don't think anybody'd be disappointed if you just stood there and looked at them from the ring.
Thank you.
But I must say that Bennett has noted, I don't think I've ever seen the critics in New York, nor my personal friends, so excited about
Yes.
something that's happened at Madison Square Garden. a wonderful, wonderful performance.
Very pleasant to hear.
They have bears that box one another, is that right?
Yeah.
And
we have even soccer.
Dogs playing soccer. What kind?
And people just do miracles, believe me.
And would you rather be able to do that than to teach? Or?
Oh, no. I love my profession.
I rather thought that when we got down to the short strokes that you would much. Where do you go from New York?
We're going to 5 more cities. We were in Philadelphia, now we're here in New York, and we are going to Boston, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Milwaukee, and Minneapolis.
Ah, Milwaukee and
then
Minneapolis.
to Canada.
And then to Canada before you go.
Very long trip.
How many weeks are you going to be away from home?
Too many. It's 11 or 12 weeks.
11 or 12 weeks. Do you find it exciting?
Yes, very.
Is this your first trip out of the Soviet Union?
First trip abroad.
First trip abroad. Well, I hope that you carry home a good impression of us, because really we're quite nice people.
Oh, yes, surely. Sure.
Thank you very much for coming to see us.
Some small pins, presents for Mr. Daly and for the panel. If you don't mind, I present you with
we'd
a pin.
love to have them.
And
Thank you.
welcome to the Moscow Circus.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This in Miss Krasina's appearance.
On the back of it, it says made in Japan.
Miss Krasina's appearance encourages me in another way. I can see that Bennett is very impressed, and I can always hope he'll come to study English from this brief visit that he's here. Now let's meet another contestant. Will you enter and sign in, please? Henry? Mundinger, is that right, sir? Where are you from, Mr. Mundinger?
New York City.
New York City?
That's right.
Oh, well, these folks will all be somewhat familiar to you. May I present the panel, Mr. Mundinger? Would you join me over here, please, sir? Do you know how we keep score at What's My Line?
Yes, sir.
All right, in that event, we'll let the audience in the theater and the audience at home know exactly what your line is. All right, panel, we can tell you that Mr. Mundinger is salaried, deals in a service, and we'll begin the general questioning with Arlene Francis.
Mr. Mundinger, do people come to you for your service?
Yes,
You work indoors.
that's right.
Do you work in what might be called an office?
No.
That's 1 down and 9 to go, Mr. Lawrence.
Would you work in a classroom?
In what?
In a classroom.
No.
2 down and 8 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
But you do work in an enclosure of some kind.
In what?
An enclosure. Mhm.
Yes, that's right.
Is it at any time on the ground?
Yes, I think we would agree that using basic terminology that the enclosure is on the ground.
Well, Mr. Mundinger, does the part of the enclosure in which you do what you do extend upwards somewhere into the atmosphere?
No.
I mean, are you above the first floor of whatever you are in?
What's it?
Are you above the first floor? Is the enclosure in which you specifically work above the first level?
Yes.
May I assume that whatever this is, it doesn't take off? It is
Yes.
It is attached to terra firma.
It is attached to terra
Yes.
firma.
Is it smaller than the Empire State Building?
Is it smaller than the Empire State Building?
Well, a little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Is it in some place other than Manhattan? Oh, did you say where you were from?
New York.
New York City.
Oh.
Is it in some place other
Other
than
than Manhattan Island?
No.
Oh.
Yes, it's on. It's
What?
not in Manhattan.
It's
It's not in Manhattan.
It's not in Manhattan?
That's right.
Well, that's what I asked. I said, is it someplace other
Oh,
than
I'm sorry. I
Manhattan?
thought you said it.
The building
Please,
doesn't go up.
John.
I'm just trying. You can't do anything but your
I
best.
haven't asked my Mississippi River question yet.
Oh, harpoon.
So it is not in Manhattan, but is it fairly near Manhattan?
It's, yes.
Is it in proximity to water?
Not too. No.
It's in reasonable. But it's, when you say proximity, you mean what? Within
Could he walk there?
Could you walk from where he
From where
is
he
to
is.
water?
Yes. If you're a pretty good walker.
You know, well, do I take it that you're now giving me President Kennedy's 50-mile measure?
No, not even that really, because Manhattan's only 20 square
Well, you mean
miles.
contiguous upon water?
No, I don't mean continuous upon water. I just mean fairly
Proximate.
near. Like First Avenue is near the water, isn't it? Fairly near.
All right, go ahead.
Is it that far? All right. Where am I? But
New York, Manhattan.
yes, I'm
On
in
First
Manhattan,
Avenue.
but he's not sure, or you're not sure. All right. Do you do any work with your hands, Mr. Mundinger?
Yes.
Do you do it with something other than pencil or pen and paper?
Yes.
You work upon some object.
Yes.
Is this object inanimate?
No.
Inanimate.
Yes.
Is it something that has, in fact, never been alive?
Yes.
Is it something that has movable parts?
Yes.
Does it have any connection whatsoever with batteries or electricity?
Yes.
Is it in any sense a vehicle?
No.
No. 3 down and 7 to go, Mr. Sir.
Well, Mr. Mundinger, does your work bring you in any contact whatever with the world of athletics?
Yes.
Might you have anything at all to do with the impending World Series?
Yes.
Is the place where you work therefore Yankee Stadium?
That's right.
You do something at Yankee Stadium?
That's right.
Well, do you sell tickets?
No.
4 down and 6 to go, Miss Francis.
I didn't know they sold tickets on the second floor.
Yes, they do.
They do, huh? Do you wear something other than the suit that you're wearing now on your
Yes.
job? Is it a coverall rather than a
No.
uniform of the teams?
No.
No.
5 down and 5 to go. I'm going to give you 1 more minute. Mr. Lawrence?
Is it a uniform?
Yes.
Yes.
What I would consider to be a baseball player's uniform?
No.
No. 6 down and 4 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Do you have anything to do with giving out information to the fans?
Yes.
Do you operate the scoreboard?
Yes, very good. Mr. Mundinger operates an electronic board. It's electronically controlled and has, how many buttons did you say?
5,000.
5,000 buttons on it.
Tell me something. When the Mets play, I know you have nothing to do with
The
this.
Mets. This is Yankee.
When the Mets,
I know.
when the Mets play, he doesn't push any buttons.
Neither do the Mets.
I thought he might know because he's in the trade. There is a certain order of balls and strikes in the usual scoreboard, but with the Mets it's backwards. Why?
Everything's backwards.
Let's leave it there. Mr. Mundinger, thank you very much for being our guest, and we're lucky to see the series on Wednesday. We'll meet tonight's mystery guest in just a moment, but first, here is a word from our sponsor. And now we come to the special feature of our program, the appearance of the mystery challenger for which the panel is always blindfolded, as you know. Blindfolds in panel, blindfolds on channel panel, and panel on blindfolds mid-channel panel. Are your blindfolds there? There you are. They are? Well, good. Will you enter and sign in, please? All right, as you know, panel, we go to a different form of questioning, one question at a time, in turn, moving clockwise. We'll begin with Steve Lawrence.
Are you in the entertainment industry?
Miss Kilgallen?
What was that?
That was yes.
Are you a singer?
Mr. Sir?
Are you appearing now or about to appear in a Broadway musical show?
One down and 9 to go, Miss Francis.
Are you appearing now, or are you about to appear in a New York club or hotel?
2 down and 8 to go, Mr. Lawrence.
Are you currently in a motion picture playing here on Broadway?
3 down and 7 to go, Miss Kilgallen.
Sound like you're out of work.
Are you about to appear in a concert at Carnegie Hall for the benefit of the Gandhi Society for Human Rights?
4 down and 6 to go, Mr. Sir.
What do you think of Lena Horne?
Yes.
Are you appearing now or have you recently appeared on television? I don't mean this particular show.
Miss Francis?
That was yes.
Does she sound like that when she sings, or?
Pretty fresh.
I was thinking of Peggy Lee or, Julie London.
Are you Peggy Lee or Julie London or Steve Lawrence? Oh, you know who it is?
Oh, wait a minute, what? What, who?
Say who it is.
Say who it is. Is it somebody, are you the mother of my children? I'm still trying to think who it is. No wonder you told me to get out of the house early tonight. Oh, God.
The other wonderful part about it is this.
Who's watching the children?
When Steve left the house, Eydie was hanging over the kitchen sink, washing the dishes, and the hair is down.
And he kept saying, why do you want me to get out of here so early? I said, it's not. They called and said you had to be there at 9 o'clock. He said, but they never wanted me there at 9 o'clock before. I said, Steve, you're going to do a show, do it right. Otherwise, don't do it at all.
Oh, that's wonderful.
I don't think it's so wonderful, John.
Thank you very much.
I just wanted to say, just before I left, that...
I would really like to know
I
how
wanted to
come...
congratulate John on his new baby. I hear he had a baby boy this week.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much indeed.
He's still trying to find out the source of the Mississippi. That'll be another one. I would just like to know how come, you made it so fast now, but when we have to go out, I always have to sit and wait 2 hours.
That's showbiz.
That's Loads of fun. Eydie will be on Gary Moore's show on Tuesday night, Steve, and you can watch her then. How's that?
All right.
Okay. Thanks
Eydie,
very much.
Thank you.
Yes,
Excuse
darling.
me. I just wanted to tell Eydie how helpful I was being to Steve. I was saying, Rosie Clooney,
And I
Rosie
was
Clooney.
just going to say you're the mother of my children. She said Rosemary Clooney. I would have...
Rosemary Clooney is the no.
No,
Thank you.
Good night. Thank
See
you.
you next time. And on that happy note, I must say, panel, that you've been doing very well so far tonight, and we'll be back after this word from our alternate sponsor. And Steve Lawrence said that I can tell you that Eydie had a wig on, and that's how she got that pretty head of hair so quick, so fast. And on that happy note, let me say that we are preempted next week for a special program on CBS, but we'll be back in 2 weeks. And good night, Miss Arlene Francis.
Good night, John, and good night, Virginia. Good night, dear.
Good night, Arlene, and good night, Virginia.
That's right.
Good night, Jonathan.
Good night, Virginia and Mark, and have a good time in Red Bank.
Thank you, darling. Good night, Pappy Daly.
I thank you, Bennett. Good night, Virginia, and good night, John Earl Jameson, and thanks for being with us on What's My Line.
Watch My Line is a CBS Television Network production in association with Mark Woodson and Bill Todman. This is Johnny Olson speaking.